adventurers. Today we're diving deep into the world of dry bags. You've probably wondered just how waterproof these things really are, and today we're going to find out. Dry bags are super important in outdoor adventure sports. One of the worst things is if you show up to camp and you are ready to change into your nice, dry, warm, comfy sleeping bag and dry clothes and settle in for the night, and you pull out this wet, uncomfortable sleeping bag. Each have their own claims to keep gear dry, but let's find out which one will hold up underwater. So here's the competition. First, I have this lightweight nylon dry bag by Side by Side. This thing was donated to the channel. I used it on last year's trip around the Apostle Islands with the Hobie 16s, and you may recall that this actually kept things pretty darn dry. I was very excited because being so lightweight, I didn't expect a lot out of it. The next one is this Seal Line Baja bag. I've talked about these for years. I have taken several of these around on my trip around the Isle Royale National Park. Number 3 here, we're going to go with a very cheap option. So this is just a kitchen bag or garbage bag. The 4th is just a Ziploc bag. Pretty simple. And 5th is this Earth Pack. This was just donated to the channel. My concern with this thing is it has a waterproof zipper because I just don't usually trust them, but we're going to really test this today and see what happens. I have each dry bag loaded with very similar items. This is all kind of soft, lightweight, synthetic material. So this is a parachute. I have a sleeping bag in here, sleeping bag in this one, sleeping bag in this one, and then a couple buffs in the Ziploc. Let's show you this closure and then we'll see how they handle the real world scenario. So any dry bag, you want to get a decent amount of air out of it. And then any of these roll tops, we want to go at least 2-3 times like so. We can roll it a couple more times if you have the space just to keep it condensed, and that's totally fine as well. So next one here with the sleeping bag, same thing. This actually has directions on it. So air out, fold A to B, fold again, clip just like so. When we're using the garbage bag or kitchen bag, we want to put it in something else. That's why I have this stuff sack, just to kind of protect it. Same principle, take the air out. We want to wind up all the extra of this bag. And then we want to keep it going to the point that it spins this top down like so. And we can take this whole thing and stick it under a fold like that. Or even better, what we can do is take an elastic band, put that on a few times, and that just secures. Next there's this Ziploc. It already was closed, so air out. Make sure we get it all the way across. For this Earth Pack bag, we just are going to zip it fully to the end of this. I'm going to hold each one of these bags fully under the water for an entire minute. Test number 1 with the Side by Side. Here we go. So what I'm thinking is that this will simulate if you were to flip your sailboat, if you were to flip a canoe, or if you were to, fall in a river while you're backpacking or something. The other thing is you see me kind of shaking it around a little bit because, again, if your sailboat flips over, it's going to be jostling around a little. So I want to really simulate this. Next is this Seal Line Baja bag. 1 minute starting now. Time. Next is the garbage bag. I'm the most concerned about this one being jostled around. Time. Next is a Ziploc. 25 seconds. And 0 seconds. Last, it'd be interesting if I can hold this underwater, is the Earth Pack. Okay. So how dry are dry bags really? Let's compare the results. There's going to be a little bit of water infiltration just from the top. Try to dry my hands off. Just a little glistening from me pulling it out. I think it's mostly, like I say, just from my hands. I thought they were dry. Just from my hands a little bit at the top. There's no big dark spots or anything. So I would say that stayed dry. We're gonna put that in the lead here. Next. Okay. If we look in there, there's a little bit of water right on the top. Yeah, you can see a little bit got in there. You can see these darker spots on the sleeping bag. And some of this is just from the opening. I would say a little bit of this looks like it got in during that dunk. Yeah, so it's further down here. Yep, a little bit of water at the bottom of it. I guess I really wouldn't worry too much, but it is a little wet. And so if this was underwater for, let's say, 10 minutes, this might be an issue. So far, this is second. Those hands again. Yeah, I'm not seeing any wetness. There's a little bit of darkness on the top here, but that's because this sleeping bag is very old and, you know, honestly just has a little bit of that oil staining from lots of nights sleeping in it. Yeah, I'd say this is nice and dry. We're gonna put this cheap version in tie for first place. Brand new Ziploc, and this is a freezer brand or freezer rating or whatever. So yeah, this also pretty darn dry, just the little bits of droplets from opening it. So tie for first again. Try to dry the hands. Okay, I don't see any water in here either. Yeah, there's no water in there. Okay, now this one I'm a little bit surprised because you could hear some air coming out at each end of the zippers, and you probably saw that where it's kind of bubbling up. It also bubbled up a little bit out of this zipper. Now this zipper, let's show you. Okay, so this zipper didn't fare so well. This big zipper though fared really well. Now I imagine that some of that is the air being pushed out and blocking the water from getting in, penetrating those ends. So this is probably a spot where EarthPack could improve this bag just by making the zipper more like a dry suit zipper. However, there is no water in here. Now there's no water from opening it either because there's no rolls or anything. So this literally is the driest one, but I don't know if that would be the case if it stayed underwater even longer. I'm actually pleasantly surprised. I will definitely be using this on my sailing trip. Look how big this thing is. Lots of things dry and easy access. You can pop this open, it stays. So it turns out that we have a 4-way tie, which is odd because I usually talk about this Baja bag being the best. Now, both of these cheap ones are great in a pinch, but I would really caution you about using them for something like a boating trip or long term or something where there's going to be a lot of wear on them. This dry bag as well is pretty lightweight, and over time it's going to wear out much quicker than these two options, these rubberized ones. You're really going to want to look at considering the activity. So if weight is a huge concern for backpacking or something like that, then you really want to go with one of these. If weight is not a concern, for example, if you're sailing somewhere, then you'll really want to go with one of these. And so for me, for what I do most of with sailing, I would say that apparently this EarthPack one is the winner. The other cool thing that this has is these shoulder straps. They're color-coded straps. I can just take this and easily transport my stuff up to the campsite. So stay tuned for more adventures, inspiration, and gear tests And I would encourage you to like, comment, and subscribe. And if you really want to support this channel, you can go down and do the super thanks. All of that is a huge motivation. Then I would check out this video up here about the 4 mistakes when using a dry bag. Or you can check out this video that YouTube knows you will love.